now tuned in to Today with Pastor Jay on WNZF News Radio, where we discuss inspiring and informative news. And now here's your host, Pastor Geraldine Denny.
Good morning, good morning. Wake up, good morning. This is Pastor Geraldine Denny, your host for Today with Pastor Jay. And each week we bring you real conversations that strengthen faith, sharpen leadership, and inspire action. And today we're having a timely and powerful conversation about leadership, service, and security, and what it really means to protect people while leading with integrity. My guest today is Dr. Trey McMullen, founder and CEO of Ciotus LLC, a service-disabled veteran-owned security company trusted with high-level operations across the country, from disaster response to major events and critical infrastructure protection. Dr. Trey is also a candidate for State House Representative for District 2. He's very excited about that. So, Dr. Trey, welcome to the show, and thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for having me on, Pastor Jay. It's a pleasure to be here.
So take us back to the beginning. What first
Oof.
led you into military service, and how did that calling shape your life?
Absolutely. I'm from a small place outside of Cleveland, Ohio. I'm the youngest child of six, in our community. And where I'm from, there wasn't a lot of money put aside for college. There wasn't a lot of um, opportunity for men and women where I'm from to actually make it out of that area. So I've always been one to look forward. I have two brothers that were in the military, and being able to get some lessons learned from them, and seeing how they were able to navigate it, and what allowed them to get outside of where we were from. I knew the military was going to be the best option for me. So that was step one.
You served as both a military policeman and later as a senior counterintelligence agent with Special Forces. I mean, this
Yes,
is
ma'am.
huge. And you also said something about education. We'll get back to that. But how did those roles redefine your understanding of leadership and responsibility?
Having been deployed during Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom, and afterwards being able to wrap up as a conglomerate both of my previous jobs as a contractor and still serving the country, it really allowed me to see behind the veil of what we know it to be here in the United States, and what really takes to keep the lights on for America. So we have to do things that other Americans don't have to do. So we keep it far away from their front door. So it's been an honor to go abroad, keep this mess from getting back home, so that way our loved ones can enjoy the lives that they have.
You know, at a young age, you carried enormous responsibility. What do you believe prepared you for that level of leadership so early? Because you just jumped right in there and got it done.
I have a mantra that I have a few, but this is one that I truly live by: that nobody's coming to save me. Um,
Mm.
when you put yourself out there and you know that no one's coming to save you, it shapes you in a different way. I didn't have anyone that I could call and ask for the $20, the $50, the $100 to come get me out of this, bail me out of that. So I knew it was upon me. I knew that I was going to have to be strategic in my thinking. I knew I was going to have some thoroughness, and I knew what I signed up for. So this was going to be something that I truly was passionate about, and something that I knew that I was going to be a part of for the rest of my life.
You talk about passion. When you transitioned from military service into civilian life, what burden or vision did you have that compelled you to start the company that you have? I mean, this is huge. You also said that, well, I didn't have much of an education, but you have a doctorate's degree in, what is it, global security? Who does that? And there's what? Less than 2 dozen people in the United. I mean, how many people have this degree that you have?
There's only about 2 dozen of us. I'm the only one in the state of Florida
Wow.
that holds this degree. I would say I wanted to do something that was impactful, something rememberable. I didn't want to just be known. I wanted to be remembered, and I wanted to be remembered for doing the right things at the right time. And that comes from a lot of lessons learned.
Mm.
Being able to sit there, and I know you're a pastor and I'm a PK, so being able to listen, and sometimes God will sit you down when you're moving too much and doing too much, till you hear his voice. So there was a time I was literally sitting in Helmand province, and I got medically retired out the military. I have ulcerative colitis. And I remember I was raised as to not really question God. And one day I finally asked God, why me? Why is this happening to me? And clear as day, he said it was the only way I could use you.
Mm.
And he said, everything that you've ever wanted, I've given it to you. Your kids will go to college for free. You got medical for the rest of your life. You have an ambitions to be in academia. You've allowed me to ascertain all my degrees, associates, bachelor's, master's, and doctoral. Um, and then now it was time for me to be able to do what he wanted me to do and not what I wanted to do. And that was stand up and be a representation of him in dark rooms.
You live by the phrase never above you, never below you, always beside you. Where did that philosophy come from?
I actually don't know where I created it from. I've just put it together.
Mm.
It was one day I was talking to somebody and they were looking at me, and I could tell the way that he was looking at me because I've looked at other men like that before.
Mm.
And I wanted to be where he was at. And I wanted him to know that only by the grace of God am I here. And I'm not above you, I'm not below you, I'm always beside you. All humans are equal. We're all created equal in the likeliness of God. So you have the same um, possibility for success as I do.
All right. Well, this segment is brought to you by Church on the Rock, Judah One Aviation, and Great Eagle Strategies, partners who believe in faith, excellence, and principled leadership. You're listening today with Pastor Jay. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. You know, while we were on the phone, the VA was calling me. I'm like, I got time to talk to you. I had a phone appointment at 8:30 this morning. They didn't call me. Now you calling me now. No, I ain't got time. All right.
Always late.
You ready? We're going to go back in. You good?
Good.
All right, Mark. Welcome back to Today with Pastor Jay, and I'm here with Dr. Trey McMullen. Candidate for state representative for Florida House District 2. You went from the little kid going, oh, I'll go in the military, to advancing in that, getting out, starting your own company, got multiple degrees, and now Florida State House? Why? There's that. Why?
So I have a daughter and I have a son. And this year at FSU, they had a school shooting.
Mm.
This year at my son's school, we had a bomb threat. And I heard God tell me, I didn't give you these gifts for nothing. And if you look across the United States, I think we're dealing with a lot of security issues. You have candidates, presidents being shot at. You have sitting officials out in Milwaukee being killed. You have children being killed in open campuses, Charlie Kirk, and all across the country. We have a border control problem. Now we're dealing with the ramifications of that. And there's a major attack on our children's mind, our children's attention. And I never, I couldn't see a better time for me to make an entry into politics other than now, because the gift that I've been given, security mindset, is truly what I believe this country needs. You can't have peace until you secure. So being able to have a mind of security, it allows me to see a forward way towards peace.
You say that and people going, I don't know. But your company have provided security for events with over 100,000 people. You were awarded a FEMA contract during Hurricane Michael, protecting over $300 million in assets and personnel. Right. During the
Yes.
2020 election, your company provided protection across Florida. So when you look at that, yeah, you have the experience. You know what you're talking about. But what preparation um, at that level does it really require? And how do you lead teams when the pressure is intense and lives are on the line?
To answer your first question, I would say failure. You have to fail to be able to, and you have to learn that it's okay to fail. Lessons learned. Being able to know that my voice is just one voice. knowing that I'm only as good as the people around me, knowing that the biggest part of the job in state representative is just very that representative. Knowing that a lot of people ask Trey, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I ask them, what do you want me to do? It's not about what I want to do. It's about what would you like me to do? And knowing that my opinion was cast inside of the poll of those I represent. And if it's not the loudest voice in the room, that's not necessarily the most important thing. My job is to represent the constituents as a whole. So that's probably the most important thing that I try to get out to people is it's I don't find it to be a problem to go into Tallahassee and to represent you, as that's the goal of everybody that's a representative. But sometimes you hear a little too much personal ego inside of that and wanting to leave a mark on society. I've already left my mark. This is for the
Mhm.
people.
And you've led teams when the pressures was so intense and lives being on the line. How do you handle that type of pressure?
Honestly, I've been forged in the fire. I've spent about 6, 7 years in cumulative deployed in operations in the Middle East. So I've had a lot of time in actual combat and being able to have leaders that have come before me, good and bad, because you learn things from both. And being able to take things from them and put them inside of my toolbox to refine myself, take the time to better myself, and knowing that I don't know it all has truly allowed me an opportunity to always progress forward and stay calm inside of that storm because that's what people are expecting me to do.
I want to say thank you because during the 2020 election, I was the chair of the Flagler County Republican Executive Committee, and we were provided with security.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't know that you
Yes.
had were the one organizing that because we were getting threats. I mean, it was just phone calls, people coming by the headquarters. It was all throughout the state of Florida, and people were there were bomb threats, all kinds of things going on. What did that season require of you as a leader?
Honestly, it was my first time that I had spent with any party, Democrat or Republican, um, and to visit every REC and every polling site in the state of Florida, it allowed me a time with all the people, all the poll workers, and seeing and listening why they did it, why were they there, day in, day out. These aren't paid positions. And yet they were willing to stand up through the bomb threats. Through we had
For
one
our
facility,
nation,
yeah,
our nation at stake.
for the
That's
people.
why I did it. I didn't
You
get
know,
paid, by the way. Oh, Dr.
exactly.
Trey, I didn't get paid.
I know exactly. So for to see these people come in day out, day in and day out for a bigger purpose than themselves, I could get behind that, and that's exactly what I did.
You don't refer to your people as employees, you call them teammates. Why
Yes,
is culture so critical in high risk environments?
these are the people that are going to risk their lives for you. I tell people all the time, you should. There's a few people you shouldn't condescend or look down upon. You shouldn't do it to anybody, but you should never do it to your security because their job at the end of the day is to risk their life for yours.
Mm.
So I think I would like to be in that person's good graces.
I'm with you on that one. Um, in all your experience, let's look at ethical lines that never should be crossed. Which ones you think should never be crossed, no matter how intense the assignment?
Money over people.
I'm with you on that one.
Can't. I'd rather have 1,000 friends than $1,000. And
Mm.
that's not necessarily everybody, but I've been in some dark places and in some dark rooms, and $1,000 wouldn't have been able to come do the things that those 1,000 people did for me. So that's definitely one. And then you can just never jeopardize your integrity. I don't believe in that.
Mm.
Nothing gets better with time, as far as when you start to lie. So just be truthful. People will understand and just get out there and do the best that you can. We're all human and we're all trying, and people will understand that.
All right, we got to take another break. Don't go anywhere, guys. We blah 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 blah. I was doing well, Mark. Then all of a sudden, I made a mistake. All right. We got to take another break. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch the dial. You are listening to Today with Pastor J. Don't go away. We'll be right back. how much time I have. I was rushing thinking I'd had no time. Okay. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You're listening to Today with Pastor Jay, and I'm continuing my conversation with Dr. Trey McMullen. Exodus 15:3 declares, "The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name." And that scripture reminds me that God understands the battle, whether it's physical, spiritual, or moral, and he equips leaders to stand firm while protecting others. And Dr. Trey is he's jumping in. Did you know that politics is a blood sport? Did you know?
I did. I didn't. I had no idea it was this bloody, but I definitely knew it was bloody.
I mean, you're working in security, and your security company is more than technology, it's more than health, it's more than education, all these things. But politics is a blood sport. Are you ready?
I believe that I am. I feel actually comfortable here. Being able to be in the business realm for the last 10 years, you learn some how to handle yourself in rooms that you normally wouldn't have been placed in. Everybody's got a hard road in business. Nobody got here by chance, and we all respect each other for that. So I'm taking a lot of that same thing over into politics. Respect people. That this is not an easy place to reach. This is not something that a lot of people will ascertain in their lives. Knowing that reaching across the aisle is how things get done. So being able to understand that it's not about ego, it's about the people. And whatever we have to do to be better for the people is what we will do. Because right now, we're watering roots. That's my job. And what do you get to, how do you see the fruit? How do you get to see the labor of the root is to by able to see the fruit. So, and we have to water the root, so that way this next generation coming behind us and our children's children, they have a bright future and a bright America and a great Florida to live in. And we have to take self out of that, and it's got to be about the bigger picture.
You serve on boards addressing human trafficking, sexual assault, and community safety. What burdens as a leader are you going to carry into the House should you be elected when it comes to those types of issues that's happening here?
Human trafficking is something that's near and dear to my heart, as well as sexual assault, so forth and so on. But being able to give people a place, I'm calling it the pilot. I'm calling out all the subject matter experts. I'm calling out everybody that's been able to get amazing things done, maybe on a smaller scale. I'm saying, hey, come out to District 2. We got 500,000 people, 200 schools, and we want to see what we can do if we put all the right pieces together. So that's what I'm excited about, being able to give everybody an opportunity to come to the table and see if we can actually save some lives and do it the right way.
Let's describe your district because I'm all the way over here. So, what
Yeah.
area is District 2?
So District 2 is northern Florida. You have Escambia, which biggest city there is Pensacola, and you have Santa Rosa County, which includes Milton, Navarre, Gulf Breeze, all those different areas, which we have the most military per capita up here. So tons of military installations, Air Force, Naval, NAS, Pensacola, Army, 7th Group, Eglin Air Force Base, Corey Station, Whiting Field. We got a lot of people up here serving our country.
That's wonderful. And when you look at the veterans and the leaders that are transitioning into civilian roles, what wisdom would you like to share with them? Because you've experienced that yourself. A lot of veterans have an issue adapting to civilian life.
Yeah, it's rather unfortunate. We've lost too many brothers and sisters in that chase, which thank you for your service as well, as you're a veteran. And I would say that transition, going through it, is one of the guiding lights that a lot of the ecosystem, the Sciotus ecosystem, that we have has been created for, because we found out that during that 60 to 90, 120 days post separation is where we're losing the most of them. And there's just a lot of uncertainty during that time, whether that be financial, VA rating. so forth and so on. But just giving guys and gals that backbone, that camaraderie, that that speedy accord that they need so often. When we get out, it's lost. So being able to step in and just be there, be an answered phone call sometimes, be a sitting buddy, be a listening buddy, be a supporting buddy, doing whatever we have to do to be able to save some people is paramount.
It appears that you are a born leader. And there's maybe someone listening and they feel calls to lead, but they're so overwhelmed by responsibility. What would you say to them?
You have to pick a hard. Everything is hard. You could sit there and swallow, or you can pick yourself up and you can go be a blessing to somebody else because somebody else is going to be where you are. And despite how hard you may think it is and how ill informed or capable you may be, there's somebody that has less. So think about them and go do more.
I love that. So, as you are embarking on this new journey that God has have you on, what's your prayer vision for the future of leadership for our state?
I think we have some great candidates. Um, Definitely would like to see a continued effort from young men and women that are coming up after me to form a heart for public service. It's starting to fall by the wayside, and as many candidates as we do have for our governor, um, we have a lot of youth behind us that are not really into it.
You know, the House and our governor, our current House of Representatives, the governor, has been quite a bit of tension.
Yeah,
And everyone's looking for that to be over. Um,
yeah.
you're not going to be part of any of that, are you?
No, 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 not
Where
at
do
all.
you where do you think the communications may have failed with why our Florida House and our governor have been having as many issues that they have this past session? Just your
Um,
insight.
I would say everything is about communication, and it's a lot of passion at that level. Obviously, there's a huge amount of respect, probably both ways between each of them. But I would just say it's a passion thing, and everybody has passion for different things, and necessarily it doesn't always align with the timing. So I just, I pray for all parties included, and wish them the best of luck because we know that you want to do the right thing and everybody wants to do the right thing. So it's just about making the timing and being able to accept passion for where it's at.
Well, I want to thank you for your time. And real quickly, why don't you give us your website so people can track you down and find you and donate
Absolutely.
possibly?
Absolutely. Www.trey, Trei, McMullen, McMullen.com.
All right. Well, thank you so very much for spending this time with me. It has been a blessing. Today, Dr. Trey reminded us that leadership isn't about standing over people, it's about standing beside them, protecting what matters, leading with integrity, and listening to them. So I leave you with this today. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow isn't promised. What are you going to do today? Maybe today you choose courage. As Dr. Trey said, choose your heart. Maybe today you choose service. Maybe today you choose to lead with faith like he is doing going to the Florida House. God bless you. Until next time, have a beautiful and wonderful day. Dr. Trey, just FYI, if you go to Today with Pastor Jay, either on Facebook, X, Twitter, any of those, it's live right now.
Okay.
So this is the raw version, and then it'll be edited and go on the radio this Sunday. But God bless you. Thank you. And I'll send you some reels if you want me to. You can put